Hey guys, Airsoft Al here, and I had a thought pop into my head after reading, or at least seeing, a really interesting Harry Potter fanfiction. Yes, I know Harry Potter fanfictions are there, but this one actually kind of caught up an idea of mine, or at least a really cool idea. Harry Potter cloned. Now, Star Wars The Clone Wars has always presented this cool idea, and Star Wars Legends, and even, of course, the game Force Unleashed, has shown Force-sensitive clones, or at least clones that do have the Force, to a degree, mind you. So what about magical clones? Well, there has been the reigning theory that magic is genetic in the Harry Potter universe. That everyone has a latent core, it just depends on whether or not that core activates. So the idea of Harry Potter, be it before he gets his letter to Hogwarts, or after, or anything of that nature, he arrives to Camino, and they begin, and seeing his powers, or at least of that nature, begins to clone him, and he becomes a member of the clone army, a marshal, or even a general, and begins sort of shaping and molding the events of the Clone Wars. But again, this is just a cool idea, because the idea I had, or at least one that could work out pretty well, is set it before the Goblet of Fire. Set it before then, where a young Harry Potter, beaten and abused by his relatives, wishes to escape. Magic hears this. Magic is basically sentimental to our young Harry in the cupboard. Yeets him to Camino. The Camino cloners find him, and they begin raising him. They're curious of his magic, and then begin cloning him, using his genetic template to clone more clones, or at least magical clones, his own legion. Fast forward a few years, because this is how you could do one of two ways for Harry to return to Earth. Because time works differently in space and time, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. Now, the Camino cloners do accelerate the clones' growth to be in their teens, to be in their early 20s, essentially. So let's say that Harry, because, he wants to be there for his men, immediately wants to be aged as well. So they accelerate his age as well to be a fit clone marshal. So instead of it being a small 11-year-old boy, he is basically the size of a 20-year-old man. Or at least an 18-year-old. Something along that nature. So in a sense, they could go for that. You could go that route. And when the 11th birthday comes around, and the Hogwarts letter, and the book at Hogwarts starts writing out names, instead of it just being Harry's name, it starts writing out other names and numbers and sequences, things that Hogwarts has no fucking clue what this is because of the Harry Potter clones. This, of course, can be done in a number of ways, and that's just one way to introduce him back to the world. Now, you could go the Goblet of Fire route, where Harry Potter has been fighting in the war with his magical clones for a while. His Force-sensitive clones for a while. And, of course, through his time with the Grand Army of the Republic and working with the Jedi, he learns about the other magical arts of the galaxy. So instead of it being, well, I would say Earth, but it sounds a lot better, Terran magics, he starts learning about the Sith magics, Jedi magics, Grey magic, literally magics of the galaxy. That's one way to go about it. And then as the Goblet of Fire spits out his name, his entire clone legion feels the tug of magic and the Force, telling them to go back to Earth. At which point in time, Harry Potter and his clones could take a Venator class, or even his fleet, come to Earth, and immediately start doing shenanigans there. Again, there are so many ways this could work out, and so many ways this can come about. The idea is perfect for not only, of course, your obvious Dumbledore bashers, because, let's face it, it is perfect for that, but it's perfect for everything else in between, because you have a clone army of Harry Potter, meaning that the prophecy is null and void. Or at least one of the lines of the prophecy is, he will have a power that the Dark Lord does not know. That power could be a literal army of himself with blasters galore and ships above. Not only that, but of course liberating or conquering the Earth, or at least the magical world, from its own stupidity in the name of the Republic. throw in some Separatist and Sith in there, and you have yourself a great Star Wars x Harry Potter story, or at least Star Wars Clone Wars x Harry Potter story. Again, this is a cool idea that I'm surprised no one is exploring. I mean, there is one story that has it, or at least is trying to explore it, but I believe has been abandoned. So I give this to you, my fellow friends and fanfiction authors. Take this story idea and run with it. I want to see what you guys come up with. And, yeah, if you want to find that story, pinned in the link, it's down there in the pinned comment, as well as, of course, the link to the Discord and the PayPal. Now, if you'll excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I have a second PayPal-sponsored review to read and, well, review. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an Airsoft Al, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section about this story idea I gave you and your thoughts on a clone army of Harry Potter. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen.